They can choose disrespect. You choose whether it lands. Mind beyond limits. Think deeper, fear less. If this reframed something for you, that's Stoicism doing exactly what it was built for. Not numbing you, but arming you. Subscribe to Mind Beyond Limits for more of this. Marcus Aurelius on facing what you fear, Seneca on the shortness of time, Epictetus on the things actually within your control. New videos every week built to make you steadier than the moment you're in. Drop a comment. What's one thing someone did recently that you're only now realizing was never actually about you? I read everyone. So ask yourself, honestly, the last time someone disrespected you, how much of your suffering came from what they did, and how much came from the story you told yourself afterward, on repeat for days? If you're honest, most of it was the replay, not the moment, the replay. What would it look like if, instead of replaying it, you asked one question? Did I act with the character I want to have? If yes, you already won, and their opinion is just weather. If no, that's useful information about your own aim, not about them. Where's your bow pointed right now? So what does the dichotomy of control actually look like in practice in the moment someone disrespects you on purpose? 3 shifts. First, separate the act from the verdict. The act happened. That's fact. It's over. Arguing with it wastes energy. The verdict, this means I'm small, is optional, and you don't have to sign it. Second, ask what's actually yours here. Not, how do I win this, but how do I want to have acted, looking back on this in a year? Epictetus said to act in every situation like you're an actor handed a role. You don't choose the role, but you choose how well you play it. You didn't choose to be disrespected. You choose whether you play the scene with dignity or panic. Or, third, starve it of the reaction it was fishing for. Most deliberate disrespect is a test, a provocation, a bid for your emotional collapse so they can feel powerful. Epictetus called this refusing to hand someone the power over your own mind, because whoever controls your reaction controls you. The calmest person in the room, the one who doesn't flinch, is never the one who lost. This doesn't mean you're a doormat. You can still set a boundary, walk away, or address it directly and firmly. Stoicism isn't passivity, it's acting from clarity instead of from the wound. Epictetus himself corrected students sharply when needed. The difference is, he did it from steadiness, not from the need to prove something. Epictetus has a metaphor he returns to again and again: life as archery. An archer trains for years. They study the wind, they perfect their form, they draw the bow with total precision. Everything up to the release of the arrow is theirs, fully, completely theirs. But once the arrow leaves the string, the wind can gust. A bird can cross the path. The target itself is not in their hands. A skilled archer does not curse the wind. They do not blame the target for moving. They check their form and they release again. Your response to disrespect is the same. You cannot control the archer who insulted you, the arrow they chose to fire, or the intent behind it. But your aim, your composure, your reply, your face, your next move, that bow is entirely in your hands every single time. There's a story told about Socrates, a figure Epictetus greatly admired. A man struck him in public. Socrates didn't retaliate. Someone asked why he tolerated it. Socrates said if a donkey had kicked him, would he sue the donkey? The insult said everything about the striker's character and nothing about his own, unless he chose to let it. That's the frame. Their disrespect is data about them. Your reaction is the only data about you. Here's what nobody tells you about being disrespected. The sting doesn't come from what they did. It comes from your judgment about what they did. Epictetus opens the Enchiridion with this exact line: it's not events that disturb us, but our opinions about them. The insult is just sound waves and word choice. What turns it into a wound is the story you immediately attach to it. They think I'm nothing. Everyone saw. I have to fix this. That story is 100% yours. They didn't write it. You did, in the half-second between hearing the words and reacting to them. This is uncomfortable to hear, because it feels like Epictetus is blaming the victim. He isn't. He's handing you the only lever you've ever actually had. You cannot control their mouth. You have never been able to control their mouth. You've only ever controlled what you do with what comes out of it. The moment you see this clearly, something shifts. You stop asking, how do I make them stop disrespecting me? An unanswerable question because their behavior was never yours to command. And start asking, how do I make this not have power over me? That question has an answer. Every time. Epictetus taught in Rome and later Nicopolis, and his words were recorded by his student Arrian in the Discourses and the Enchiridion. He had every reason to become bitter, enslaved, crippled, exiled by an emperor who feared philosophers. Instead, he built the clearest system in all of Stoicism for handling exactly what you're facing right now, other people's cruelty. His core teaching, the one everything else stands on, is called the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us, everything else is not, and almost all human suffering comes from confusing the two. Disrespect lives entirely in the second category. Let's break down why and what to do instead. Someone looked you in the eye and disrespected you on purpose, not by accident, not because they misunderstood. They chose it. And you've replayed it every night since. The words, the tone, the smirk. You've written comebacks you'll never say. You've imagined the moment you finally show them. Epictetus was born a slave. His leg was broken by his own master, some accounts say deliberately, just to prove he could. Epictetus didn't flinch. He said calmly, "You will break my leg." And when it broke, he simply said, "Did I not tell you?" That is not weakness. That is the most dangerous kind of strength, the kind no one can touch. Today, you learn it.